If you want to survive and actually make it out of your raids in Arena Breakout Infinite, there are a few basics you always need to respect. Knowing your surroundings, listening carefully, and communicating with your squad can save your life more than once. But at the end of the day, this is an extraction shooter, and no amount of good positioning will help if your weapon can't keep up when things get messy. The problem is, Arena Breakout Infinite is packed with weapons, and testing every single one takes a lot of time, gear, and failed raids. That's where this video comes in. We've already put these guns through their paces, and while the best weapon will always depend on your playstyle, budget, and confidence, we've narrowed things down to a solid list of standout choices. So if you want to know which weapons are actually worth bringing into a raid, you're in the right place. I'm quickly moving on to the video, and I'm ranking weapons in Arena Breakout Infinite. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching. The weapons in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, AKM, AK-74N, AKS-74U, G3, PCC-9, SG, 550, M14, SKS, RPK-16, CZ-52, MPTX, PP-19, and T-79. There is a special kind of disappointment in Arena Breakout Infinite. The moment you pull the trigger and immediately regret every life choice that led you to that weapon. That feeling pretty much defines Tier C, so let's talk about these guns honestly, with a bit of humor and zero mercy. Let's start with the AKM, an assault rifle that somehow manages to feel tired. The fire rate is slow, the damage does not compensate for it, and in real fights, it feels like you are always one step behind your enemy. You shoot, and they win. Simple math, unfortunately not in your favor. Next up is the AK-74N, another assault rifle that suffers badly from its extremely low fire rate. In a game where reaction speed matters so much, this weapon feels like it is stuck buffering. Even when your aim is decent, the weapon just refuses to keep up with the pace of combat. Then we have the AKS-74U, which might honestly be the weakest assault rifle of its type. It looks aggressive, it sounds okay, but once the shooting starts, reality hits hard. Damage feels underwhelming, control is awkward, and it loses fights it really should not. The G3 assault rifle is a strange one, because on paper it sounds powerful. In practice, the low fire rate combined with unimpressive power makes it feel outdated. You expect heavy hits, but instead you get slow shots that do not scare anyone wearing decent armor. PCC-9 is another assault rifle that is painfully weak. There is no fancy way to explain this one. It struggles at range, struggles up close, and mostly struggles to justify its existence when so many better rifles are available. The SG-550 assault rifle is not completely terrible, but that is not exactly a compliment. It sits in Tier C because there are simply many more useful options in this category. Using it feels like settling for less, especially when other rifles can do the same job faster and cleaner. Moving into carbines, the M14 is not the absolute worst you can use, but it is definitely weak. You can get some kills with it, sure, but almost any other carbine will give you better results with less effort. In Arena Breakout Infinite, effort matters. Then comes the SKS, which unfortunately earns the title of the worst carbine in the game. It lacks punch, it lacks consistency, and it rarely feels reliable. If you are using this, chances are you are already planning to replace it. The RPK-16 light machine gun is an interesting case. It is not really weak in raw performance, but the problem is the cost. For the amount of money and resources you invest, you could easily pick a stronger weapon from a higher tier and be much better off. Now, let's talk pistols, starting with the CZ-52. This pistol, along with most other pistols not worth mentioning, is practically useless. As a last resort backup, it barely qualifies, and in real combat situations, it feels more like a warning device than a weapon. The MPX submachine gun could have been a solid secondary choice, but the recoil at long distances completely ruins it. Up close it can work, but the moment you try to stretch the range, it starts fighting you more than your enemy does. The PP-19 submachine gun is another clear example of wasted money. It does not excel at anything, and its performance is simply not worth the cost. Saving your currency for almost any other submachine gun is the smarter move. Finally, we have the T-79 submachine gun, easily the worst of the bunch. Poor accuracy and limited firing range make it unreliable in nearly every scenario. In a game where precision and control win fights, this weapon feels like it actively sabotages you. The weapons in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, a CE31, a MB17, AR57, FAL, MCCX, MDR, SCARL, T951, SJ16, M16, SA85M, MK14, VSS, T05, M870, MP5 and Uzi. ACE31 sits comfortably in Tier B because it has real potential, but the spray holds it back. When things get chaotic, this assault rifle tends to kick harder than expected, turning clean fights into messy ones. If you can control recoil well, it can shine, but for most players it feels slightly unreliable. The AKM makes a return here in a much better light. In Tier B, it offers a solid balance between power and fire rate, making it far more usable than its lower tier version. It rewards consistent aim and feels dependable in mid-range fights without demanding perfect attachments. A MB17 is definitely viable, but it comes with a warning label. The recoil is aggressive, so aiming lower than your target is almost mandatory if you want your shots to land. Once you adapt to that behavior, it becomes a decent and flexible assault rifle. The AR-57 struggles at long distances due to its recoil, but up close and mid-range it still hits hard. It is one of those weapons that feels powerful as long as you do not try to force it into sniper duties. Used correctly, it can absolutely carry fights. FAL is a tricky assault rifle to justify fully. It is viable and hits hard, but the low fire rate combined with the high cost to fully upgrade it makes it feel inefficient. You can win fights with it, but you will definitely feel the investment. MCX is an excellent secondary assault rifle for its price. It performs best at short ranges where its control and handling really stand out. As long as you respect its range limitations, it feels like a smart and budget-friendly choice. MDR is one of those weapons that earns points simply for being cheap. It is not amazing, but it is absolutely worth trying, especially if you are experimenting with different loadouts. For its cost, the performance is surprisingly acceptable. SCARL is expensive and suffers from a low fire rate, but it feels very comfortable to use. The handling and stability make it forgiving, which is why some players swear by it despite the price tag. It is more about feel than raw stats. T951 is a great example of value for money. It is cheap, strong, and competes well with more expensive options in Arena Breakout Infinite. If you are looking for an affordable assault rifle that still delivers, this one deserves attention. SJ16 is a bolt-action rifle that hurts your wallet before it hurts your enemies. It is expensive and has poor ergonomics, but when paired with high-tier red ammunition, it can hit extremely hard. High risk, high reward, and very unforgiving. M16 as a carbine is all about player skill. If you can manage its fire rate properly, it becomes a reliable and efficient weapon. If not, it can feel awkward and inconsistent, making it a very skill-dependent choice. SA85M is the definition of average when it comes to carbines. It gives you exactly what you expect, nothing more and nothing less. There are no standout strengths, but also no major flaws, which lands it firmly in Tier B. Mark 14 as a marksman, rifle is undeniably strong, but the ammunition cost is painful. Every shot feels expensive, yet the overall performance makes it worth considering for players who can afford it. Power comes at a price, literally. VSS has seen buffs, but it still struggles to climb higher in the tier list. The recoil and overall cost drag it down despite its improvements. It can work in the right hands, but it demands commitment and resources. T05 pistol is useful in very tight situations where quick weapon swapping matters. Pulling out a pistol is always faster, and this one can save you in emergencies. That said, it is not particularly strong or reliable beyond those moments. M870. Shotgun does exactly what you expect a shotgun to do at short range. It gets the job done, but it lacks the extra qualities that make shotguns truly shine. Compared to something like the USAS-12, it feels very plain. MP5 is a solid starting submachine gun that offers great value for its price. It is easy to control, reliable, and perfect for players getting comfortable with close quarters combat, a safe and smart choice. Uzi rounds out Tier B as a perfectly fine submachine gun for short distances. It works well as a secondary weapon and does not demand much from the player. It may not be flashy, but it gets the job done when it matters. The weapons in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, AK-102, AN-94, AUG, CZ-807, F-2000, T-03, T-191, Mosin, SVTU, M110, Deagle, USAS-12, Vector 45 and Vector 9. AK-102 earns its tier A spot thanks to its excellent recoil control and very manageable spray pattern. It feels smooth and reliable in real fights, and the price makes it even more attractive. The only thing holding it back from tier S is the low fire rate, which can hurt in fast-paced encounters. A N94 is a strong and flexible assault rifle that performs best when used in automatic fire. The recoil is surprisingly controlled, and the overall damage output feels consistent and rewarding. It is one of those weapons that simply works well in almost any situation. A UG brings a high rate of fire and strong damage to the table, making it very dangerous up close and at mid-range. The downside is the recoil, which can get a bit wild if you are not careful. Still, when controlled properly, it absolutely shreds. CZ807 is one of the best value assault rifles in Arena Breakout Infinite. For its price, it delivers performance that rivals much more expensive weapons. It is reliable, efficient, and feels like a smart investment every time you pick it. F2000 is another example of great value for money. You are getting a powerful and capable assault rifle without overpaying, which makes it a popular choice. It performs well across most combat scenarios and rarely feels like a bad pick. T03 is a solid assault rifle that sits just below the top tier. It does almost everything right, but the fire rate keeps it from being truly dominant. With a bit more speed, it would easily push into tier S territory. T191 shines in close quarters combat, especially when firing from the hip. It feels natural and effective at short distances, making it great for aggressive playstyles. However, its high price makes it a weapon you really have to commit to. Mosin is a bolt-action rifle that offers excellent value, especially for beginners. Despite its low cost, it delivers respectable performance and reliable damage. It is simple, effective, and far better than its price might suggest. SVTU as a carbine is brutally efficient. With red ammunition, a single headshot is all it takes, making it incredibly lethal in skilled hands. It rewards precision and punishes mistakes, which is why it ranks so high. M110 is an excellent marksman rifle that performs very well within its category. It is accurate, consistent, and reliable, but it lacks the unique strengths that make the SVD set stand out. Still, it is a strong and dependable choice. Desert Eagle sits comfortably as the best pistol in the game, and the Golden Eagle version belongs here as well. It hits hard, feels powerful, and actually gives you confidence when switching to a sidearm. As pistols go, this is as good as it gets. USAS-12 is the clear winner if you want a shotgun as your secondary weapon. It is far more useful than any other shotgun available, offering consistency and effectiveness at close range. If you pick this one, you can safely ignore the rest. Vector Point 4.5 is an absolute monster when it comes to recoil control. When a submachine gun handles this smoothly, you know you are in a good place. It excels in close range fights and feels incredibly forgiving. Vector 9 is very similar to its .45 counterpart, with no major differences to set it apart. It performs well, handles nicely, and delivers solid results. If you like the Vector playstyle, this one will not disappoint either. The weapons in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, AEK, AK-12, H416, MA41, M24, SVDS, U191, and P90. AEK sits at the top of tier S thanks to the buffs it received this season, especially the much more controlled recoil. It absolutely dominates at short distances, where its fire rate and stability allow you to melt enemies before they can react. In close quarters fights, this assault rifle feels unfair in the best way possible. A K-12 is one of those rare weapons that almost plays itself. It has some of the best recoil control in the entire game, making it incredibly easy to stay on target even during sustained fire. Consistent, smooth, and deadly, this assault rifle fully deserves its tier S status. H416 climbed into tier S largely because it became cheaper, which completely changed its value. On top of that, it offers excellent recoil control at long ranges and very strong overall performance. It is versatile, reliable, and deadly in nearly every combat scenario. MA41 is a weapon that tests your patience at first. The recoil can feel problematic and almost pushes it down the tier list, but once you learn its pattern, it becomes insanely strong and accurate. Mastering this assault rifle is rewarded with top-tier performance. M24 is a bolt-action rifle that feels almost absurd in how powerful it is. The bullet velocity is extremely high, making long-range shots feel instant and incredibly satisfying. If you like precision and raw stopping power, this rifle is a dream. SVDS stands out as a marksman rifle that blends speed and power perfectly. You can fire your ammunition quickly and the bullets travel to their target at impressive speeds. This combination makes it lethal in both mid-range and long-range engagements. U191 is simply an absurdly good marksman rifle. It has practically no recoil, allowing you to stay locked onto targets with ease. In skilled hands, it feels unstoppable and easily earns its place among the best weapons in Arena Breakout Infinite. P90 might just be the best short-range weapon in the entire game. Its handling, fire rate, and close quarters dominance make it terrifying to face indoors. When fights get tight, this submachine gun delivers unmatched performance. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.